Hello guys, Subino here. We finally got Anaxa's updated V0 kit and let's look into it if he got stronger or not. So if you guys don't know, he's going to be a wind erudition unit that's going to be specifically be good at debuffing and doing some crazy damage while doing it. It's going to be more like a support sub DPS, but yeah, let's look into it. So basic attack, it's just basic attack. It just hits one guy and does wind damage. It's not even blast, so yeah, it's not that good. Now skill, this is where it gets a lot interesting. Deals X percentage of Anaxa damage as, wind damage to a single enemy, then deals additional instances of damage. Each instance deals X amount of Anaxa's attack as wind damage to a random single enemy, prioritizing targets that were not hit by his attack. So it looks like he's going to scale mostly of attack. He doesn't have any split scaling like the old Anaxa. And if you don't know what his skill is, it's not AoE, it's not blast, it's literally Bailu skill, but it does more damage. If you guys don't know, it just bounces off, simply. Pretty cool skill in my opinion. Like, it will be really strong in a single target boss because, even though he's an erudition unit, he's pretty good into single target enemies. Now, ultimate. Consumes energy, has 100% fixed chance to inflict the negative status on all enemies for one turn. Then deals X amount of Anaxa's attack as wind damage to all enemies under the negative status and gain weakness to all elements. And if you guys don't know, weakness to all elements means he's probably gonna apply every single weakness when he just pops his ult up. You will understand better when I talk more about his talent. So if you guys know, his talent is literally Silverwolf's talent. He's gonna apply a weakness. But I'll talk in detail now. Talent, when Anaxa hits the enemy with a basic attack, skill, or ultimate, there's a 100% fixed chance to apply one random weakness to target for 3 turns, prioritizing weakness that doesn't already have. So he's just gonna he has Silverwolf's skill, but on his talent, and he can apply it to multiple enemies at the same time. On top of it, he can prioritize the weakness that the enemy doesn't have, and there's also more actually. Anaxa deals increased damage to enemies in this state, so he's also going to do more damage. If they have more weakness, he's going to do more damage. When Anaxa hits an enemy with the positive status with basic skill, an additional skill is triggered on the primary target. This extra skill does not consume skill points. If no primary target is available, a random enemy is attacked instead. I actually don't know what this means. I presume it's the one with the more, weakness. The elemental weakness will simply get prioritized and will take more damage, or while his enhanced skill is up. So he also has the enhanced skill. I think it depends on the more weakness the enemy has. You get this enhanced skill and you just pop it, and it doesn't cost skill points, and it will also prioritize the enemy with the more skill point, I presume. This is the only part I'm actually a little bit confused. Now let's look into his traits. Trace 1, Anaxa crit damage increased by if there is one or more erudition character. You want to run him with more erudition characters so he can get his freaking trace, and he can also do more damage if he has the if he is with another erudition unit. So he's technically a Herda support, simply. Trace 2, at the start of Anaxa's turn, he restores energy. This is actually really good, especially on pure fiction or on any any long-term endgame modes. This is really good. The energy part is really good, considering his energy, his ult energy cost is pretty low, so he can actually spam his ult. For each weakness an enemy has, Anaxa ignores defense when dealing damage, so he can apply a lot of weakness. He can probably apply all the 7 weakness. I think there's 7 weakness, I could be wrong. And getting def ignore on top of this will be crazy, because I'm sure his best set is probably going to be the wind set. Yeah, Anaxa is going to be broken. I can already see that. His kit is already too strong. Now his technique applies the positive test to all within the area. Looks like his ult is like a domain. I could be wrong. If Anaxa initiates combat against enemy affected by positive status, then at the start of each wave there's a 100% fixed chance to add Anaxa's elemental weakness to all enemies for X amount of turns. Simply, you can start the battle with all the enemies having a weakness, like probably wind weakness. I don't know which weakness, but you can start the fight, and you can start every start of the battle with a weakness on. This is actually crazy because I'm sure Silver Wolf doesn't have this feature. So yeah, plus point for Anaxa again. Now let's talk about his eidolons. His eidolons are pretty broken, I think. His E1, after casting his skill for the first time, immediately restores 1 skill point. When his skill hits target, reduce target defense rate. Simply, his E1 makes him a large skill point. Negative, I presume, or neutral. He doesn't cost skill points. On top of his enhanced skill also doesn't cost skill points. Yeah, it technically makes him neutral. Okay, I think it's neutral. It's gonna make him skill point neutral probably, or maybe even positive. I'm not sure. On top of his, he's gonna reduce the enemy's defense. So yeah, his E1 is broken. His E2, the number of damage instants from his skill increased by certain amount. After using his ultimate, speed increased by certain amount for X turns. His E2 with Eagle set will be absolutely broken. He's gonna get a freaking speed boost when he's ulting. That's crazy. On top of he's getting skill damage boost. Yeah, his E1 and E2 are kind of broken in my opinion. Now his E4, when casting skill, Anaxa's attack increased by a certain amount. This effect can be stacked up to certain times and lasts for certain turns. To be honest, all of his eidolons look kind of broken. His E4 is literally a skill damage increase plus by a certain amount. So his E6, basic attack, skill, ultimate deals increased damage. So his E6 is literally damage increase. But his E1 and E2 are really, really good for team management and to increase team damage. I think his E1 is really, really strong. But that's it. We can also look into his lightcone, I guess. His lightcone is pretty okay-ish. I think it's really good for him. The wearer's crit rate increased by certain percentage. When the wearer applies a weakness to an enemy, the enemy takes increased damage. Stackle up to a certain time. At the start of each wave, wearer immediately restores energy. This lightcone is only good for Anaxa, so I would not recommend this lightcone to so it's like I don't think he needs his lightcone personally. The crit rate is good. I mean, I think that when enemies take increased damage, that's actually a really good status, but I don't think his lightcone is a must-have. But his lightcone is strong. I mean, crit rate increase, enemy taking more damage, and getting energy each wave is actually pretty strong. I think it's a pretty strong lightcone for him. But yeah, that's his whole kit. Literally Silver Wolf Pro Max. And I think he's gonna be kinda broken. And I'm gonna be honest, if you have Herda and you're going for Trippy, rather than going for Castros, try to get Anaxa. He looks crazy for an erudition unit. He's literally an erudition, debuffer slash DPS that also really good in a single target. You need to know he's an erudition unit. He's not supposed to be good into single target enemies, but he's looking like he's going to be decent into a single target scenario. So if you're an FTP player, if you're like a Herda enjoyer, yeah, he's going to be on your radar for sure. And yeah, that's it. That's all we got for Anaxa's V0 kit. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this. And if you guys did, leave a like, subscribe. I'm feeling a lot better today. And yeah, see you guys on the next video.